I, Dr. Kirti Sahu, welcome you all to this video lecture on differential equation. Dear student, we shall cover case number 6 to evaluate the particular integral of higher order ordinary differential equation with constant coefficient. So let's see what is the case number 6. So as we know, the differential equation has a standard form given by f of d operating on y equal to f of x. Then particular integral is given by 1 upon f of d function of d operating on this input function. So in case 6, what type of function is required? So here we want a product of the form x raised to n into v, where obviously n is a positive integer and v is either sin ax or cos ax. If it is other than sin ax or cos ax, then it falls under the previous cases. So v has to be either sin ax or cos ax. Then particular integral is given by, so what we do here, so we will just use the formula. What is the formula? That e raised to power I ax or e raised to power I theta is nothing but cos theta plus I sin theta. Here the value of theta is x. So we have e raised to power ix is equal to cos ax plus I sin ax. In this case, cos ax is a real part of this e raised to power ix, whereas sin ax becomes the imaginary part of e raised to power ix. So if we have, suppose v as a sin x, then particular integral will become 1 upon f of d x raised to n. V will get replaced by sin ax. So in this case, what we do, as we have sin ax, so we will write sin ax as imaginary part of e raised to power iax. Further, we can write it as that this is nothing but imaginary part of this entire function, that is 1 upon f of d e raised to power iax x raised to n, and then we operate e raised to power ix x raised to n by 1 upon f of d as per the case number 4. And after simplification, finally you have to collect the imaginary part of the answer so obtained. This is what is applicable when we have v as sin x. So what we are going to do, we are going to consider imaginary part of 1 upon f of d e raised to power iax x raised to n. Now similarly, we can have v as cos ax, then what should be the changes to be implemented? So instead of real imaginary part, as cos ax is a real part, so we will consider the real part of 1 upon f of d e raised to power iax x raised to n. Simplify this according to the case number 4, and whatever answer we will get from that, we will consider the real part in order to get the final answer for the particular integral. So in this way, this case is applicable. And note here, when here the value of n must be greater than 1, then it is easier to apply this case 6. If suppose the value of n is 1, then I will suggest to go with the case number 5, right? So this case need to be applied only if the value of n in x raised to n must be greater than 1. Okay, so let's see the problem based on it. So solve d square plus 1 operating on y is equal to x square sin 2x. So what we have here? So we will find out quickly the complementary function. This we are very much familiar with this process. Now let's find out particular integral. So as I am having x raised to n where value of n is greater than 1. So we shall apply the case number 6, and here we have sin ax function. Value of a is 2. So as sin function is there, so remember sin is function, we shall always write imaginary part. So we will write imaginary part of this entire term, and sin function get replaced by e raised to power I, and whatever angle is there, that we should write. Here the angle is 2x, so I shall write e raised to power I into 2x. Okay. So I hope this step is clear to you all. Let's move further. So this is according to case number 6. Now what we do, now we will apply, as I am having the form e raised to power ax into x square. So case number 4 is applicable. According to case number 4, what we do, we will take this exponential term out of the operation. Out of the operation means out of the operator, this d, and at the same time we will replace d by d plus a. What is the value of a here? It is 2i. So d is getting replaced by d plus 2i. All other terms remain as it is. So this is according to case number 4. Now let's simplify it further. So we will expand d plus 2i whole square. We shall get d square plus 4id and then minus 4 plus 1. Now minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. Now which function is left here? Here we have the function x square. It means it is in the form x raised to n. Okay. So we shall apply now the case number 3. What is the requirement of case 3? Look for the lowest degree term. Lowest degree term is minus 3. Take it outside. What we are left with? Here what is left? 1. And remaining term should be divided by that term which we have taken common. That is minus 3. So it will take this form. So this is according to case number 3. Now then whatever term is left, take it in the numerator. So it will be raised power minus 1. Now we shall further write it as, I will write minus sign over here. Now, so it is in the form 1 minus d square plus 4id upon 3, this complete term raised to minus 1. So it is just like 1 minus r, this entire bracket term d square plus 4id by 3. This complete term is nothing but r raised to power minus 1. So what we will have? We will apply the expansion formula. What is the expansion formula? It is 1 plus r, the value of r is this, plus r square. How many terms we should write? So as the power of x is 2, so we should write the term in the expansion till we get d square. So here you can find, if I will take the square of this term, so here we have d, so d square, here we get the term of d square. So I shall write r square also, right? 1 plus r and r square. In r, as I am having d, so we should write this also. Now just open up all the brackets here. So what we have? 1 plus d square by 3 plus 4id by 3 plus, now from this term we will not write all the terms, as I need d square only, so I will just take the square of this function. So that is what? 4id by 3 whole square, and all other terms reduces to 0. Okay, operating on x square. Now operate each term on x square. Use the result. Which results we are going to use here? So we are going to use here the formula. What? D raised to n of x raised to n is nothing but n factorial. When power of x as well as d is same, then it is n factorial. And when the power of d is greater than the power of x, that is d raised to n plus 1 and all other terms, it always gives you 0. So this result we will apply here. So it is 1 operating on x square is x square plus d square x square by 3 operating on each term and using this result. So we are left with the simplification like this. Okay. Now so multiplying each term after simplification with e power 2ix by minus 3. Now as we want to find out the imaginary part of this entire term, so here we shall replace back the value of e power 2ix. What is e raised to power 2ix? That is cos 2x plus I sin 2x. So that we will use before finding the imaginary part. Okay. Now we wish to find out the imaginary part. So what we will do? So we will, as we want our imaginary part, so as you can see here we have two terms in the first bracket. Similarly, these many terms in the second bracket, where this much part is the real part over here, and this is the imaginary part. Similarly, this is the real part and this is imaginary part. Okay. So when we wish to obtain imaginary part, so what we will do, I will multiply real part of first bracket with the imaginary part of second bracket. So what I am having? So and similarly for the other term, here I am going to replace multiply real imaginary part with the real part. So what I am having, see here, sine 2x, x square minus, here it is like this, x square minus 26 by 9, right? So these two real into imaginary, then real into this imaginary. So what we have, cos 2x by minus 3 into 8x by 3. In this way we shall get the imaginary part. So this one has to remember that when we wish to obtain the imaginary part, what I am going to do, I am going to multiply real part of first bracket with the imaginary part of second bracket and vice versa, right? This is to be done for getting the imaginary part. Otherwise, one of the longest way is to open all the brackets, collect real part, imaginary part and find out the imaginary part of the result. So this is what I have explained here, the easiest one, right? So this is what the particular integral. Now if you wish, you can open all the brackets. So now we will write the required general solution. So in this way we get a required general solution. Now let's see what if we have in place of sine the cos 2x, say for example, right? So what we will do in this case, so in place of sine 2x, as I am having cos 2x, the only change that one has to do here is to replace the imaginary part in the earlier problem with the real part and repeat previous example as it is up to equation number A. You can see what is the equation number A. So equation A is this, right, where we have multiplied real part with imaginary part and imaginary part with the real part, right? So up to this step we will write this problem as it is with only one change, that in place of imaginary part, as cos function is a real part, so we will write a real part. That is the thing one has to do, and then we will proceed as follows. So this equation A is this real part of this entire function. Now what we have done in the earlier case, that I have multiplied real part of first bracket with the imaginary part of second bracket. Now what to do if we wish to find out a real part? Okay, so what we will do here, so we shall multiply. So this is a real part over here and this is the imaginary part. Okay, this is the real part again of the second bracket and this is the imaginary part. So in order to get a real part of this entire term, what we will do, we will multiply real part with a real part and imaginary part with imaginary part. Okay, so what we will get, so we will get it like this. I have shown it the multiplication of the similar terms with the red color. So these two is to be multiplied. Similarly these two terms is to be multiplied. So what I am having after multiplication, it will be like this, multiplication of real part, and when I will multiply imaginary part, so I into I gives you I square, right? So that is minus 1. So that is to be used. So in this way we get a particular integral. So I hope this problem is clear to you all, and as well as method also. So this is one of the important method, little bit critical or difficult to understand, but once you get the method you will enjoy this method. So in the next video lecture we shall discuss the general method to find out the particular integral. So these are the 6 cases which we have discussed so far, and we will see what are the changes and what are the requirements for a general method. So I hope you must have understood this method. So leaving this video lecture now, thank you all for watching the video.